Good morning, students. I, Rajesh Kumar, your science teacher. Today, we will continue our chapter 2, that is microorganisms. And today, we will discuss two more topics. One of them is nitrogen fixation, how nitrogen can be fixed in the environment. And other we will discuss is nitrogen cycle also. We will first discuss the topic nitrogen fixation, and the contents for nitrogen fixation will be what is nitrogen, why it is important, nitrogen fixation and its type, process of nitrogen fixation. We will discuss them one by one. So first we will move to what is nitrogen. Nitrogen, you can see, an essential dietary element derived from animal and plant proteins. Role of nitrogen is nitrogen fixation, natural and synthetic, is essential for all forms of life because nitrogen is required to biosynthesize basic building blocks of plants, animals, and other life forms. Examples nucleotides or DNA, RNA, amino acids, and proteins are there. Role of nitrogen in plants, major substance in the plants, it is nitrogen next to water. So water is the most important one, and then the next priority will be for nitrogen. It is a building block, constituent elements of chlorophyll, cytosomes, alkaloids, many vitamins also. These the two terms we discuss, cytomes and alkaloids, we will study in higher classes. So for the time being now we will study back to nitrogen fixation. Plays important roles in metabolism, growth, reproduction, and heredity. So nitrogen is very much of great importance. Sources of nitrogen will be atmospheric nitrogen. It is present in 78% of the total gases. Plants cannot utilize in this form. We have already studied the same in class 7th also, nutrition in plants. Plants can take nitrogen in soluble form only. Some bacteria, blue-green alga, and leguminous plants help to use the nitrogen present in the atmosphere, and to the they will transform it to this process to soil, and then it is taken in the form of soluble form by the plants. Nitrates and ammonia, amino acids in the solids, organic nitrogenous compounds in insects. Okay, let's move. What is why nitrogen fixation is important? We all know the nitrogen cycle is more complex than other biochemical cycles because most organisms cannot use nitrogen found in the atmosphere, even though it is present in 80% of the air. 80%, not almost 80%, mean it is exactly 78% of the air is nitrogen. In order for the plants and humans to get nitrogen, they need nitrogen must be converted into ammonia, that is NH3, its chemical formula. We have also studied that we are not able to use nitrogen directly, although it's present in abundant amount. So it will be taken in the form by the first it will be converted by the plants, used by plants, and then through plants human beings and animals can use it. The conversion of atmospheric nitrogen to usable form of ammonia is known as nitrogen fixation. This is its definition. It can be defined as the process of creating ammonia from atmospheric nitrogen. Without this process, most plants and animals would not have the nitrogen needed to live. Okay. If this process will not take place, then it will not be possible for the plants, animals, as well as for human beings to live. So they needs the nitrogen in the form of in the form of some vitamins, proteins, and other form also. Let's move forward. You can you can see there the denitrification means breaking it nitrates and nitrates, N2 NO2 minus and NO3 minus. Soil bacteria, and then atmosphere, you can see inert nitrogen gas. Inert means that will not react with other gases. Those gases which will not react with other gases are called inert gases. Okay, let's move forward. Nitrogen fixation can be classified into non-biological, biological, and then biological can also be divided into non-symbiotic and symbiotic. Let's move forward. Non-biological, it is brought up by ionizing phenomena such as cosmic radiations. These you will study in higher classes. So these provides high energy for breaking nitrogen-nitrogen bonds. Also the formation of free nitrogen with oxygen or hydrogen H2O. Biological nitrogen fixation. As I told you, you will study about these processes in higher classes. So just go through with the slides. Non-symbiotic, you can see fixation is carried out by free living microorganisms. They inhabit both terrestrial and aquatic habitat, and they can be aerobic, anaerobic. You also studied in the class 7th, or blue green alga. Free living nitrogen fixers, free living aerobic, given there, examples are given there. Free living anaerobic, also examples are given there. Free living photosynthetic are also given there, and free living synthetic are also given there. So you need not to worry about these terms, you will study in your higher classes also. Symbiotic fixation, the fixation of free nitrogen by microorganisms living in the soil symbiotically. Symbiotically means we also study about this process in our early class. Symbiotic plant symbiotic relationship inside the plant, symbiosis coined by the scientist is name given there, D. Berry. Three categories will be there: nodule formation in leguminous plants, non-leguminous plants, and non-nodulations. Okay, we will restrict ourselves just here up to leguminous plants only. Nodule formations, the root of nodules formed due to infection of rhizobium. Free living bacteria growing near the roots of the leguminous are unable to fix nitrogen in free conditions. We all know this. Roots of leguminous secrete some growth factors that helps in fast multiplication of bacteria. Okay, the nodules formation is must. Without that, plants will not be able to convert the nitrogen that is present inside the atmosphere into the soil, and through soil they will not be able to take it into the plants. Legumi root nodule, you can see the root convertex. Also see the endodemins and the plants. There you will see just how the root nodules will be formed in a leguminous plants. Another picture you can see over there, how the nodules are formed. There you can see the nodules in the very first corner, and then it is used by the plants for the growth. Pea plants is shown over there. Okay, and pea we all know very much rich in nitrogen, that is the part of our human diet. Okay, factors who can affect the nitrogen fixation: adipic factors, biotic factors, and climatic factors. We will not go in depth of these factors, but we will just get a brief idea of these factors. What are these factors? Adiabatic factors: excessive moisture, phosphorus deficiency, soil acidity, mineral nitrogen. If the soil is excessive in moistures, and it may have deficiency of phosphorus also, what is the acidity and basicity of the soil, minerals, how many percentage of minerals are present in the soil, biotic factors, second parameter, absence of required rhizobia species, crop competition, maybe more will be the competition between the crops or the growth of crops. It can also reduce the nitrogen in the soil, insects and methodates, excessive defoliation of the host plants. Okay, and the third factors are climatic factors. If the temperature will be in excess, okay, then it can also affect the amount of nitrogen in the soil as well as the availability of light. If the light is not available in sufficient amount, then again the plants will not be able to convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil through their roots, and then plants will not grow properly. Now we will move to our second topic of the day, that is nitrogen cycle. What are the sources required for that? How nitrogen cycle we will study. How nitrogen is cycled in the atmosphere through plants, through what is the cycle, how it repeats itself. The sources required are lightning, inorganic fertilizers, nitrogen fixation, animal residues, crop residues, organic fertilizers will be the part in that. Cropping, you can see the diagram, it will help you to understand it in a greater way. Fertilizers, kettles, they will waste residues, plants, acid rains, fires, you can see soil organic matters. This will compromises the process of nitrogen cycle. Okay, let's move further. Try to understand it in detail from your book also. You can refer your book NCRT. Nitrogen cycle compromises of these number of steps: ammonification, mineralization, immobilization, nitrogen fixation we already studied, nitrification and denitrification. Okay, let's move. Mineralization or ammonification. Decomposers, earthworm, termites, sludges, snails, bacteria and fungi will do the task. Uses is extracellular enzymes initiate degradation of the plant's polymers. Microorganisms uses will be protease, lysomes, nucleus to degrade nitrogen fixation, nitrogen containing molecules. You will study about these terms in your class 9th also in biology chapters. Immobilization, the opposite to mineralizations, happen when nitrogen is limiting in the environment. Nitrogen limitation is governed by the C by N ratio. What is this? Carbon to nitrogen ratio. Okay, C by N ratio typical for soil microbial biomass is 20. If it is C by N ratio is less than 20, then it is mineralization, and if it is more than 20, it is immobilization. Okay, let's go. Denitrification removes the limiting nutrients from the environment. Okay, you can see this equation also. Inhibited by O2, not inhibited by ammonia over there. Microbial reaction, you can see. Nitrates is the terminal electron acceptor. Okay, let's move forward. Another diagram you can see over there also. Nitrogen is cycling in wetlands, progresses more rapidly whereas than the thin oxygenated soil layer present in it. There you can see the how organic air fixation you can see over there, gasification over see there, fixation again you can see over there, oxygenated soil layer, organic nitrogen, nitrification, denitrification, all the processes are shown in this particular. Okay, let's move forward. So we are now at the end of this chapter. So for today's your task will be, you need to learn all the key terms. You need to learn all the key terms as well as complete the notes of this chapter. And do one more thing. Tomorrow you need to do the exercise of this particular chapter, chapter 2. Okay. On Monday, preferably on Tuesday, sorry, preferably your test of chapter 1 will be conducted. Thank you so much. Have a good day. If any query regarding this, you can easily ask to me. Your suggestions will be most welcomes. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.